Hi, I'm Mark from the Endurance Store. This little video we're going to talk about navigation for the Lakeland 50 and Lakeland 100, and I'm going to explain the difference between the map and the road book and how you should use them in the event. So just some basics. This is a map that we use, a standard map that you'll collect at your registration. It's waterproof paper and it's a Harvey 1 to 40,000 scale. So Harvey maps are slightly different to OS maps. The colours on them are slightly different, so it is worth familiarising yourself with the Harvey maps that we use in the event rather than the OS maps that you more generally buy in walk-in shops. And the scale is 1 to 40,000, so that means that 1 centimetre on this map is 400 metres. The OS maps, generally you get them in 1 to 25,000 or 1 to 50,000. So 1 centimetre is 250 metres or 1 centimetre is 500 metres. So the scale is different on this. It's 1 to 40,000, 1 centimetre, 400 metres. A lot of people will just use the map in the event, and some people prefer to use the road book. My advice would be that you should use both of them together because they provide different things. So the road book, if you don't know, and you also get a waterproof copy of this when you get to registration. This is a 50 version, but there are 100 versions as well. The road book is just a written description of the route. So just as an example, I'm going to give you the first paragraph. It says, from the checkpoint, turn right in front of the house for 200 metres to a footbridge, over Dacre Beck, continue straight ahead over the field and through a gate or stile for 550 metres up to the corner of the woods. So it's a written description of the route. The map obviously is a map which gives you a picture of the terrain and a picture of the route, and the route is marked on this as a yellow line which is pre-drawn on it, so you don't have to mark the route on it before you actually start the event. So the difference between the road book and the map tells you where you are on the course. It gives you a picture of the overall course and shows you where you are on the course. The road book is almost if you've zoomed right into where you are on the map, and it describes to you what you should see. So when you're looking on the map, if I know I'm on a track on here, what the map shows me is there should be a lake to the right, there should be a big hill to the left, I should be going uphill, I should be going downhill, I should be able to see a valley behind me. So it gives me an overall picture, and it also tells me where I am on the course. So it will show me that I'm halfway between 2 checkpoints, or I'm halfway around the course. It gives me a picture of where I am. What it doesn't give me is real detailed instructions, such as 300 metres ahead of me there is a gate in a wall, and if I go through that gate the footpath then bears right and there is a house 20 yards ahead, and through that house there is a gate which then goes to the left. So it's very, very detailed description. The dangers of using the road book alone is that it doesn't give you an overall picture of where you're on the course, and sometimes you can start to convince yourself that what you're reading in the road book is actually what you see in front of you. So for example, it may say there's a gate through a wall 50 metres ahead. And when you look ahead, you do see a wall and a gate, but it's probably closer to 100 metres and not 50 metres. But you know, that's probably the gate that it talks about in the road book. So you get to that gate, and then maybe in the road book it mentions a building which is a kilometre further on, and you walk a kilometre, and you haven't seen the building yet, but maybe you just need to walk a little bit further. So you can start convincing yourself that the things that you're seeing in front of you are what you're reading in the road book. But then if you looked at your map in conjunction with a road book, you'd clearly see that you are heading in the wrong direction. You were going uphill when you should be going downhill. There should be a road to your right-hand side or a lake to your right-hand side, and you're walking away from that road or you're walking away from that lake. So I would always recommend that you use the map and the road book in conjunction together, and that's the best way to navigate around the course. So here we have the Lakeland 100 map, and one of the things about this map is it's pretty huge. You know, it covers the whole of the Lake District. And because it covers the whole of the Lake District, quite often people get lost with the map because they unfold it and it's blowing everywhere in the wind, and they just don't know where they are on the map. So just to narrow down the area, the first thing you should do with the map is fold it into the smallest possible square, which includes the point where you are. So just as an example, I'm going to fold this map right down. Okay, So let's say we're following this section here, which is the old coach road, and the old coach road goes across towards Dockeray from Blencathra Centre, so it's on the 100 course. So I would fold it no bigger than that. So folding is the first thing to do. Once you've folded it, the next thing I would do is I would thumb it, which means I would carry it with my thumb next to the point where I am on the map. Because every time you have to get the map out and unfold it and try and work out where you are on that map, you're losing valuable time. So it's really, really important to look down and know where you are. And as I'm following this course, I would move my thumb along, so every time I look down, next to my thumb is my first point of contact, and that's where really I should be on the map. So it saves a lot of time, and it saves a lot of guesswork and stopping and unfolding the whole map. So folding and thumbing is really, really important. The other thing I would also do is I would orientate the map. Now by orientating it, these lines that you see here, the vertical lines, should be pointing north. So if I put a compass on this map, now the red needle is pointing north, and those lines are pointing north as well. So that now means the map is orientated. If the red needle is pointing to the top of the map in line with those vertical lines, then that map is orientated. So what that means is this yellow line, which is heading in that direction, the path in front of me would be heading in that direction. So if the map isn't orientated, what you may find very, very difficult, and I'll turn this round now, so that's pointing north, the needle's pointing north, but the vertical lines are actually pointing this way, so the map's not orientated. The problem with that is you're travelling in that direction, and the track is on the map is going in that direction. And really what you want is when a map is orientated, everything around you fits into plan. So on the map, it will show that a hill is to your left. The hill will be to your left. It will show a river to your right, and the river will be to your right. If the map isn't orientated, that river which should be to your right might actually be behind you. So what you see on the map should actually fit what's happening on the ground. And if you're travelling forwards in that direction, then the track on the map should be pointing in that direction. So orientating it really does help. So I would run with the map folded, and I would have the map orientated at all times. Now, the problem with using the compass and trying to keep it orientated is that you've then got to hold the compass, and it gets a little bit more complicated. So what I would actually use, my preferred weapon of choice, is a thumb compass. And I slot my thumb in there, so it's normal compass, north pointing needle, turn it round, so the north needle is pointing to the top of the map in line with the vertical grid lines, and I would run with the compass onto my thumb, grasping the map, and it just makes it a little bit easier to hold, and I'd always run with that. Every time I changed direction, I would turn the map around to continuously keep it orientated, but I'd always be holding it with that hand, and that north needle on the compass should always point to the top of the map, and that means that that map is always orientated.